We're super excited for you to try our Brain Boosting Keto Mocca Ice Cap.
Dorothy made
Big name.
It's a great name.
We're really excited for you guys to try this one. Now, again, like the s'more smoothie we said yesterday was really more of a dessert. It wouldn't really count for a breakfast or a meal. And it's one that you'd have on occasion.
It's more for fun.
More fun.
We wanted to show you guys that we're fun too.
So the s'more smoothie you'd probably only have, once every couple weeks, once a month, something like that. And it's kind of the same with this ice cap. It's more of a fun one that you wouldn't really have every day, but
hopefully not every day.
And it wouldn't really count as your meal because it doesn't have all of the macros in it, like our smoothies that count as a meal. So
this is another fun one.
But it's a fun one, and it does have nutritional value to it. We call it the Brain Boosting Ice Cap for a reason.
Like when you go, like Dorothy likes an ice cap once in a while. I think that's where the idea came from, and we thought let's do our own healthier version of an ice cap, and that's where the idea came from. And I'd imagine you don't have an ice cap every day in the summertime, but it's nice to have a little treat once in a while. It's nice to mix things up. And we thought if you're going to have an ice cap anyways, you may as well put some better ingredients in it, which is what we're offering here today.
So this one's called Brain Boosting Keto Mocca Ice Cap Smoothie. So we do have coffee in there. And if you know Drew and I, and have been in some of our detoxes, we don't talk very nicely about coffee. So you're probably like, what are they doing putting coffee? But the ice cap is having coffee in it. So we wanted to talk a little bit about coffee.
Yeah.
In maybe a nicer way.
Well, the thing is, you can get better quality coffee, like Tim Hortons, McDonald's. Like obviously that's not the best quality types of coffee. So we thought we'd shine some light on a better quality type of coffee. Like in any case, like I tell you guys, like sometimes we eat a bag of potato chips, but with those potato chips, we still read the ingredients and try to find clean ingredients. So it's not like Doritos, for example. I'm just throwing everyone under the bus tonight. But so when it comes to coffee, for example, you could buy a better quality fair trade coffee right here in our community, and you can support ethically. And then you can enjoy your coffee in many different ways. And I think, so like I was saying, in most cases it's what you put in the coffee and it's the type of coffee. So if you have a better quality coffee and you don't put those horrible creamers in there, you're already head above shoulders compared to the people that have a really low quality one every morning.
So we're lucky in Olds because we have a fair trade, like we're fair trade certified community. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm using all of the right words, but Bev, who is a big supporter of True Form, she is very active in the fair trade organization in Olds. And we have quite a few, of local businesses that support fair trade. So in Old, for example, the Cocoa Tree. Candace owns the Cocoa Tree, and you can find fair trade coffee there. So that's one place that you can pick it up locally in Olds for a better quality coffee. And
Bev might even sell it. She's kind of started her own little pop-up shop.
That's right.
So if you guys are interested in better quality coffee, and it's better to support local anyways. Do you guys know of any local coffee ones? We were at the meadery, and they were selling some type of coffee.
Really? Oh, it was called Kicking Horse.
Oh yeah, Kicking Horse. Right.
Is that one fair trade then? I don't know.
I'm just saying, I feel like it's better to support local, and fair trade isn't exactly local. Fair trade is, I don't feel like I'd do it justice if I tried to explain it, but it's fair wages in other countries where in most cases they wouldn't. Like for example, bananas is like a huge industry based around low wages and not paying people fairly. So Bev was, I'd imagine she led the charge in bringing in fair trade bananas, which you can find at Sobeys in town, which is awesome. Like I'll pay 20 cents more for a bunch of bananas, which is gonna help communities because it's fair trade. Like, that's a no-brainer. But same thing when it comes to coffee. Like in this case, I'd always say suggest support a local first, but offer like supporting other communities where people are working hard and putting in the time and effort to grow their business and grow their lives. Like why wouldn't we support them and just pay a little bit more money?
Mm-hmm. So another thing to know about coffee is that it actually is, how do we say it again?
It's a diuretic.
Diuretic. So if we're having the ice cap, we're going to want to make sure that we replace that in water to get back to our normal hydration level.
Yeah.
So that's something else. Because we call it brain boosting smoothie. But coffee on its own would actually, I guess, deplete your energy sources, right?
No,
No?
I wouldn't say that. Like coffee will take water away from you. It'll dehydrate you. So as long as you're properly hydrating yourself, but
You should avoid that.
what?
Well, like when
Dehydration?
yes, dehydration. Avoid dehydration if you bring it back, your stores back up, because like I used to be a huge coffee drinker, and not such a good water drinker. So you drink your morning coffee and then you're all like giddy up and go, and then the dehydration sets in the afternoon or a few hours later, and you feel like brain foggy. That's what I was kind of talking about with coffee.
Yeah.
But as long as you stay hydrated, and we'll talk about the other products we put in the brain boosting smoothie as well, then you should be fine.
But hot coffee is a stimulant, so that's why we put it. That we use the brain booster, because there are experts that believe coffee is a health food. We just feel differently. We're not saying we're right. Everyone has their own opinions, but coffee as a stimulant can make you more alert. But there's usually a crash in situations like that. Of course, you can look at the sugar and the toxins that are also you're putting in the coffee. But the other thing is that it increases your heart rate. Like coffee, gives a lot of people the jitters. It gives people anxiety. There's a lot of things that go along with coffee that we may not all. We just think about the smell and the taste, right? But there's a lot of other things that come along with it. But I would be concerned about heart rates and unnecessarily increasing your heart rate. And then the last thing is that coffee actually strips the magnesium from your body. So that's another reason to avoid it, unless you have something like this that's a bit cleaner. You're not having it all the time, and then you probably need to add extra magnesium to your body to refill what's being taken. I think it's called cytotoxins. So it just hit me. In the low quality coffee, I think they're called cytotoxins, which is mold that grows on the coffee bean.
Oh, I heard of that.
So that's what those mass-produced large companies that don't really care about quality, they would.
One that used to be Canadian, but it's not Canadian anymore.
I don't know why people think Tim Hortons is Canadian, because they put a flag and they have Wayne Gretzky commercials. Some company in Brazil owns Tim Hortons, and people are like, let's support Canada.
Anyway, back to the ice cap smoothie. I just wanted to say a couple more things, and then I want to talk about our brain boosting products. There's coconut cream in here tomorrow, because usually there's lots of dairy, like heavy dairy cream in the ice caps. So we opted for coconut cream, which has more health benefits, healthy fats. So you can buy the can of coconut cream and scoop off that thick stuff off the top and use that. But we also found a nice carton of coconut cream as well. Maybe I should show it.
Grab it.
I'll go grab it to show you guys. But that one's nice because it's all coconut cream. You don't have to scoop anything out of it. Open the can.
Also a healthy fat, obviously.
Yeah, coconut cream. We use chocolate almond milk in this one. Just make sure you get unsweetened, because we made the mistake of just grabbing chocolate almond milk and we're like, whoa, oh my gosh. Whoopsies, it's not unsweetened. So don't make that mistake. Grab the unsweetened chocolate almond milk. It's delicious. And then I noticed in the recipe, I'm not sure, there's a little mistake. After the first ingredient, brewed coffee, there's stevia, and then stevia again down below. and it's supposed to be 1 teaspoon of stevia, not 1 tablespoon.
Oh my
I have to
God.
do a couple edits to that one, obviously.
Don't put a tablespoon.
1 teaspoon of stevia, and I put stevia to make the name keto, so I could call it keto. But if you don't want stevia, you can use maple syrup. So just put a little bit of maple syrup in there instead of stevia. If keto isn't, if you're not worried about that aspect.
And just be careful that stevia, like that green stevia leaf, may change the flavor.
All right.
Unless you get a better quality white powdered stevia.
Yeah. And then we have our vanilla protein in there, which we've talked about in a few shows now. So that's going to help boost your protein of the day. And then we have Magtein in there and our MCT oil, which we'll talk about here, and cacao powder. So I talked about last night the difference between cocoa powder and cacao powder. So we always want to make sure we're using cacao powder because it is superfood. Cocoa powder is not. it's
Hershey's makes it.
Yeah.
Is that enough? Enough said?
So make sure there is a difference. Some people think cacao powder and cocoa powder are the same thing, just different words for the same thing, but it's not. So you'll find cacao powder in the natural health section in the grocery store or at a health food store. When you're blending this one, it calls for 12 ice cubes. So when you're blending this one, you'll want to put it on your crushed ice setting on your blender. If you don't have that setting, then you're just going to use the pulse button on your blender until you get that kind of thick crushed ice cappy consistency or texture to it. So it's not like a smoothie where you're going to blast it until it's smooth. It's a little bit different setting.
And then this one's more liquidy. It's like an ice cap. It's liquidy. The other ones are, the daiquiri was super thick and our smoothies are usually like a creamy thickness. This is a liquid. We had one today. They're so good. I'm not even a coffee fan, but we put some of this healthy stuff in there and I'm all over it. I'm like, can we have another one of those today?
Okay, we want to talk about the 2 products here that are in the Brain Boosting Smoothie. Magtein, Drew touched on briefly at the beginning of the show that was the only magnesium that breaks the brain-blood barrier. Did I say it right?
I would say blood-brain barrier.
Oh, darn it! I always get that one wrong. Say it again.
The blood-brain barrier.
Blood-brain barrier. Darn.
So this is really
good. I had it that time.
This is really good for memory, mood, cognitive function. A lot of people are dealing with depression, anxiety. We need to supplement. And then sometimes we need medication. Sometimes we can get by with supplementation. Sometimes it's workouts and proper nutrition. There's a lot of different ways we can go about that. But magnesium or Magtein can definitely help in that category, especially if you're looking at health history. So if you have anyone in your family that has Alzheimer's, dementia, any type of brain conditions, anyone in your family that has had or does have brain conditions, that means you're more susceptible to that. And I'm a person that feels like in many cases we control our own outcome, we control our own destiny, if you will, by the actions that we take. Maybe a full topic for a different night, but in this case, I feel like we can, like, instead of being in university and cramming for exams and you're smashing coffees or energy drinks all night, which just wreaks havoc on your digestive system, your heart, and overall brain health, you could look at something like Magtein that can actually give you lasting brain clarity and improve your memory. So if I was in the school systems at all, I would be telling the kids, like, I'm not talking about, even though kids can have magnesium, I'm not talking about 5 or 6 year olds. I'm talking about 22, 25 year olds that are cramming and staying up all night. Use a natural supplement like Magtein that can actually help your brain function.
Mm-hmm. So this is a powder. A little bit.
No taste, no smell.
No taste, no smell, no flavor, no taste. So it's not a liquid, but you would scoop, about a half a scoop of the powder, a half a teaspoon is what I meant by half a scoop. So you put about a half a teaspoon in your
just water,
or in this case, it's in the Brain Boosting Smoothie.
Oh, right.
So you can put this in your smoothies. You can put it in just plain water, or put it in with your kombucha.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. Really nice. So if you're not, even some people who don't like the flavor of the liquid mag will try this one because there is no flavor.
And remember that every magnesium does something different. The problem is that most people don't know. So they've been taking a generic Jameson name brand, like cheap, low quality magnesium for years. And then, what magnesium are you taking? I don't know. So it's really important to know what type of magnesium you're taking and what the purpose of that magnesium is for. So magnesium chloride, for example, most cases that's really good for energy. It's really good for healing muscles, for example. So that's why we put the magnesium chloride in our spray, in our gel, in our body butter, for example. That helps sore muscles. You can look at a glycinate. Glycinate is better for digestion. Magtein is known for to help with sleep, not because it's going to help with your brain. It's going to actually relax it. So it's going to relax your brain. It not only helps you fall asleep quicker, but it also helps you fall in a deeper sleep, so you're not up throughout the night. So at any rate, a lot of different reasons to try Magtein, but that's why we added it to our brain booster. Okay, so MCT oils is another fantastic health product. So there's different chains of MCT oil. So first of all, you want to stay away from palm oil. So palm oil is inflammatory because of the processing stage. I do believe palm oil is a form of MCT oil because they either use palm oil as an MCT oil in conjunction with coconut MCT oil, or they just use 100% palm oil. So the problem is because of the processing stage, they heat it at such a high temperature, they turn it into an inflammation product. So a product that causes pain, causes inflammation. The other thing is that palm oil basically destroys ecosystems and houses and families for animals in the rainforest, which really bothers me. So if you see any product, soap is a big one, bars of soap, stay away from all palm oil. But there's different chains of MCT oil. There's C6, C8, C10, and C12. C6 they don't really sell. It doesn't taste good. It doesn't smell good. C8 is called caprylic acid, which what ours is. It's 100% caprylic acid. And then there's C10 and C12. These ones they use in combination with a C8. So there'll be a very small percentage of C8, and then they'll have C10, C12 in there. If it doesn't say, some of them say MCT oil and it won't even say the ingredients. I don't know how they can get away with that. But that means it's either 100% palm oil, it's mixed with palm oil, or it's palm oil with C10 and 12 because those are the cheapest ones to produce. So the C8 is the most expensive product. Remember I talked about earlier in the show that the best quality products, they cost the most because they're harder to source, they're more difficult to produce properly. Like this MCT oil is 100% organic, it's cold pressed. You could look at the palm oil and they process it so highly that it's heated, they kill the they kill the good properties in it, but they can run through that faster. They can produce that much faster than a product like this. So that's why they do that kind of stuff, not for health purposes, just to get the products in and out as quick as possible, because a lot of people don't know the difference. MCT oil is great for brain health in particular. See, the thing is that this doesn't process through your digestive system. It doesn't go through the liver like other types of products or even other types of fats. This will go straight to your bloodstream. It goes straight to your brain. It offers almost instant energy. So a lot of people take it exclusively because of the health benefits. So at any rate, that's why we added the MCT oil to our Brain Booster Coffee Jam.
That's right.
That's right.
Mocha ice cap.
Mocha ice cap. But that's all we have for these two ingredients. So this one is great for salads. You don't want to cook on high temperatures with this. You can, we actually also sell a spray top that can go with this, or you can grab your own spray top, but we spray that on popcorn, we spray it on stir fries, we spray it on salads. When it comes to smoothies, I just pour it in. You spray though.
I spray it in.
You spray it in there. So there's a lot of different uses and a lot of different, but oil isn't an oil. In most cases, oil causes inflammation. And then a lot of people hear a lot of things about inflammation, but don't really know what it's about. If you have inflammation, or if you have a product that's causing inflammation, that's causing pain in your body. And that chronic, or that pain continues to carry on through your life, which causes chronic pain. So it's really difficult to get rid of that pain once it's set in from using rancid oils for most of your life.